Hello, my friends. This is Loli. Today, I bring you some beautiful DIYs. We are going to get busy making some beautiful bee decor that is going to surely brighten your home. Are you ready? Let's get started. For this project, I'll be using this wreath form from Dollar Tree and some of this yellow yarn as well. I'm going to start by tying the end of the yarn to the wreath form, then adding a little bit of hot glue to the knot, and then I'm going to take that tail and put it towards the back of the wreath form and then begin to wrap the yarn all the way around until the entire wing is completely covered. Today's video is part of the Unbeatable collaboration that is hosted by Christine from Divine Designs and by Tammy from Happiness Created. The links to their channels and to their playlist will be linked in the description box below and also pinned in the comments. Make sure that you're heading over to their channels and to their playlist and show everyone some love. All right, my friends, so here you can see that I'm just wrapping it around as you see there, and then I'm going to just squish the fabric or the yarn, I should say, close together and tightly, and I'm going to do that in this sense and do that with both of the wings. Then I took some of this yarn and I'm going to wrap the rest of the frame. This is some black yarn and the yellow yarn. Both of them came from Dollar Tree. For the black yarn, I just added a little bit of hot glue to the end so it doesn't slip away. And then I'm going to begin to wrap this around. Here you'll see how I am actually removing a nice amount of yarn out of the big bundle, so it will be a lot easier for me to wrap this around. I just cut a nice chunk of that yarn so I'm able to wrap this a lot quicker and not have to have that struggle that I had with putting the bundle of yarn through each one of the holes each time I have to wrap this. So I had a rubber band, I put it around it so it will make it a lot easier for me to maneuver this. And I just kept wrapping this all the way to the top until both of the antennas of the bee and the head of the bee, like that whole section that you see there red, is completely covered. Then I took some of this daisy fabric that I got from Dollar Tree and I'm going to glue it to the wings. I'm going to add hot glue to the yarn on the one side. When I wrap the yarn around, I make sure that every time I ended a piece of yarn and I had to start another, I glued it all on the same side, and this is the side that will be the back of my bee now. So using that same back, I will be adding the fabric to that same side that has all the glue stains for this bee. Once I knew exactly how much fabric will be needed to cover the wing, I cut off that section and then continued to glue the rest of the fabric down onto the wing. If you're enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to leave it a big thumbs up. It lets YouTube know that you're enjoying the content and it will push it out to more people and it will truly, truly help my channel grow. Thank you so much. Okay, while you haven't pressed it, go ahead, hit that like button, hit it. All right, so once the fabric was completely adhered to that wing, I'm going to take a detailed scissors, small scissors that I got from Dollar Tree, and cut off all the excess, getting as close as possible to the wing so you do not see that fabric from the other side. And I did the same thing with the other side. Look how cute this is looking, but I'm not done yet. I'm going to take some of this burlap fabric that I got from Dollar Tree, and we are going to use it to wrap the rest of the bee. We're going to make it beautiful. Let's see how many bee references I can make in this video. Anyway, then I took my press, as you see there, remove all of the folds from the burlap, and now we are going to use our hot glue gun and add a small bit of glue all the way around the bottom section. Press it onto our burlap fabric, hold it in place until that glue dries. Then we are going to trim the excess off, and I'm going to continue to adhere the burlap onto the edges, but I'm only doing it on the sections where there's nothing covering, like it will be blank space if we didn't add anything to it. Then I took my detailed scissors and we're going to trim off all the excess from all of the edges, just making sure not to cut our yarn as we go around. Then we're going to take some hot glue and add it at the top of the burlap here just to give more security to the burlap. And it is perfect because the glue will seep through to the frame and then just bond this even closer. Then we are going to trim off the excess from the wings as well, just leaving that little edge at the edge of the wings there that is attached with the hot glue. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. Once I created the flaps like this, I'm going to start gluing the burlap at the head portion of the bee and just going around the entire frame as I did previously, and then trimmed off the excess all the way around. And look how cute that is. We are not done. We are going to create a beautiful bow. I'm using this variety of different ribbons that I got from Dollar Tree, just trimming them at about, I will say about 8 inches long. And then I took them all and dovetailed the ends of them. And what that means is that I just folded them long ways as you see here and cut in a triangle upwards on both sides. And I repeated this with every single one of the ribbons. Now comes the fun part to put everything together. I took the 2 sheer yellow ones and crisscrossed them as you see there, then added this polka dotted strip on one side, the one with the bee in one side, then the honeycomb in the middle, and this skinnier one with the bees at the middle. I scrunched it in the middle and tied it with some jute cord. But I thought that this looked a little bit too sad and frail looking, so I decided to take 2 extra ribbons that I also got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut 1 piece of each at about the same 7 to 8 inches long, and I'm going to also dovetail the ends of these 2 ribbons. And I crisscrossed them, I dovetailed the ends, and I added them to the bottom section of the original bow, tied it one more time with some jute cord in the middle after I fluffed and fluffed. And now we are going to glue this to the center of the bee right there. To finish it off, I took a small bee that I got from a pack at Dollar Tree, and we are going to glue it right there at the center of the bow. And I thought, you know what, the bottom looks a little bare, so we're going to add a variety of 2 different sizes of bees that I got from Amazon and from Dollar Tree. And we're going to add it 3 here at the bottom. And that is it. Nope, that is not it. We need to hang this, right? So I took a piece of jute cord, tied a knot on each end, and I glued it at a slant so that way when I hang my wreath, it will be on an angle. Let me know what you think about this one. I love it. Let me know what you think. For the next inspiration, we will be using this wreath form from Dollar Tree. I'm going to take some of this cord, racquetband cord that I got sometime last year from Dollar Tree as well, and we are going to wrap the entire frame using it. Then I took this fabric that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go ahead and position the frame right on top of it, and then add hot glue to the back of the frame in small sections and position it in the place where I will want my pictures to fall. I wanted that honeycomb to be at the top there, and here I'm just folding it back, and I'm going by each individual section, adding hot glue to the frame and adding the fabric onto it until I have the entire beehive covered. My friend, if you're still with me this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. Please leave me a big thumbs up and let me know in the comment section where you're watching from, because I love to know how far my videos are reaching, and share because sharing is caring. All right, guys, so now that I have my fabric completely adhered, I took my small scissors from Dollar Tree and trimmed off all of the excess fabric. And look how cute this is looking. But you know already, I'm not done yet. I am going to take some of this black yarn that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to create the opening to the beehive. I'm just going to add a small dab of hot glue there at the center, and then begin to wrap along until I create the circle. And I kept going and adding a little bit of hot glue, but adding it only to the fabric, making sure that I don't get it onto the yarn, so I don't have any little white pieces of hot glue sticking out on my black yarn. Once I was happy with the size there, I'm going to cut off the excess and glue that little tag all the way down to make sure that it stays in place. And then I'm going to take another portion of that brown macrame cord and do 2 revolutions around this black yarn and cut off the excess. Hey, have you subscribed yet? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It is free and it means the world to me. Thank you so much. And when I get to the end, I'm going to cut it in a slant so that way the cut section will be in the inside, and I'm just going to tag that on and it's going to look nice and seamless. And look how cute this is looking. Now it's bow time. I'm going to take this ribbon from Dollar Tree and we are going to create an awareness bow, lay it down right there because we're going to come in with a different kind of ribbon. We're going to use the buffalo check ribbon. I had this for like 3 years now, but first I decided, you know what, let's use this honeycomb first. And again, an awareness bow, holding it in place there, cutting my tails just slightly shorter than the previous bow. And then after that one is set, we're going to put it on top of the other one. And I'm going to use one of these clips from Dollar Tree to keep them in place while I get the back section of this bow. I'm going to use a buffalo check for the back. I'm making it slightly bigger than the two other bows, and the tail's also bigger. And I'm going to clip that to the back of the other two bows. For this one, I left the tails quite larger. I'm just going to cut them as you see right there. And then I'm going to take a piece of jute cord and tie all three of these bows together. I'm just crunching them together in the middle as you see there, and then tying the jute cord on the back using a double knot. Once they were all together, I dovetailed the ends. And then I burned off the edges, so I cinched the edges of the ribbon to avoid any fraying. And then glued the bow to the second tier there of the beehive. And we add in a small bee to the center of the bow and adding smaller bees to the opening of the beehive. So far, I am not sure which one of these two are my favorite, but I thought that these little bees right here were the perfect touch. We put a hanger in the back, just adding two bows to the end of some jute cord and gluing it to the top section of my beehive. And that completes this beautiful DIY. Let me know in the comment sections, what do you think about this project? I absolutely love it. For the next inspiration, we will be using this square board that we got from Dollar Tree. These are a lot thicker now, the new ones. I love it. I'm going to remove that tag, and we're going to use one of these calendars from this year at Dollar Tree. And I will be using this one on the inside that has the honey for sale print. To attach this print to the board, I'm going to use some of this disappearing glue stick from Elmer's. I got this at Dollar Tree. It is perfect for this project because it will have no bubbling, which sometimes could be the case when you use Mod Podge unless you use the iron-on method. So here I'm adding the glue to small sections, making sure that my artwork is squared with the board, and at the same time making sure that I have no bubbles as I glue this down. And I just went in small sections as you see here, just to avoid the glue from drying before I get to put my paper down. And I had no bubble, and I think there was only one section that I had a small bubble on, but I just, worked it in 2 seconds and this was perfect. To clean off the edges, I just sanded it off using my zip sander, and I had a nice clean look after that. Next, I took some of this honeycomb ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue it to the bottom and the top of the sign. I'm just adding hot glue to the corner there, making sure that I line it up flush with the edge of my art there. And then I trim off the excess ribbon and cinched off the edges to avoid any fraying. And what I did to the bottom, I did to the top. Then I took another piece of the same ribbon and I'm going to create a loop for the hanger and the back. So I'm going to glue one of the edges of the ribbon over the hole that the hanger was on. And then I'm going to loop it on the other side, making sure that the printed side is towards the front of my sign, and the printed edge here will be attached to the board. Then I took a smaller piece of ribbon and I'm going to glue it here across to give this some more security. I made sure to be generous with the hot glue to make sure that this really had the best security, and then I'm cinching the edges of the cut ends as well to avoid any fraying, and then tack those edges down with some more hot glue. To give this piece a more finished look, I took some of this brown macrame cord and I'm going to glue it on the middle of the honeycomb ribbon. I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue in the beginning here and add it right there. I'm not going to fold it over to the back. I'm just going to leave it at the front. And then I'm going to run a small bead of hot glue in small intervals until I go all the way to the other side. Then I'm going to cut the ribbon flush and make sure to add a little bit of hot glue on the end so it doesn't fray. And what I did to the bottom, I also did to the top. And here it is all completed. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this one? I love it. And here we go with the final reveal. Don't forget to let me know which one of these projects today is your favorite. My friend, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be blessed, be a blessing, and craft responsibly. And if you enjoyed today's content, here is another video for your enjoyment. And don't forget to subscribe. It is free and it means the world to me. And thank you for spending some time with me today. You are amazing. Bye.